that does to us. It's like school time.
Right, okay.
Instead of lessons, instead of literacy, numeracy, science, we had...
He just hit me several times.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Luna has been sexually abusing the baby since birth, basically. And I didn't talk about this because, well, for whatever reason, there was just no reason for me to stop it.
Give me one example of when I lied.
After his videos on Luna, a channel popped up by the name of Flat Chest Luna. This channel started posting videos that only Goatis would have access to, including a video of him filming Luna as she pulls up her skirt to reveal her underwear, and a video showing Luna's parents with their full names in the title of the video.
The beach background in it was artificially added in post by getting a current picture of the same beach that revealed that the hill in the background now featured Arabic writing that was noticeably absent in Belle's post. Belle in Sverige replaced the original background of her photo with a years-old image of a Moroccan beach. It was so that their real location was kept secret.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Like in Afghanistan, like you're able to buy like a 12 or 13-year-old bike, even though it's an old bike, it's a rusty bike. You can literally buy bikes like that there, but it's dangerous to buy those or ride those kind of bikes in the US because you need like a license because those kind of bikes are seen as rusty and dangerous to ride. But like in Afghanistan, you can buy and ride those kind of bikes, and you know, in a lot of Muslim countries, so there's like a lot of different rules, but we get programmed that these kind of bikes are dangerous to ride in Europe and in America, and it's funny because it's actually not dangerous at all. It's actually a lot of fun, but it's actually very good for you. Or you know, my new bike, like a 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean. Or you know, my new bike, like a 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean. A 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean. If you understand what I mean. You know, 30-year-old bike is also dangerous. No, I mean, a 1, 2 year old bike, that's the safest, of course.
Oh my god!
His password to his computer was I-R-word kids.
Give me one example of when I lied.
I gave her the option to meet me at the police station.
What do you mean? Did I not say that 5 times just now? That we can meet at the police station?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but if I tell you I want to see, I could meet you in a public space or the police station. How is it anything else that I want? I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense.
And she had no reason absolutely not to say you cannot see him at the police station, because no matter what her argument would be, if she doesn't feel safe or whatever, there's no reason to say, I won't see you at the police station. It was just control. That's it. That was what it was all about. That's the only reason you wouldn't meet somebody at the police station. That's the only reason you wouldn't meet somebody at the police station. She had no reason absolutely not to say you cannot see him at the police station. There's no reason to say, I won't see you at the police station.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Well, two can play at that game.
Give me one example of when I lied.
He attacked me with a metal bar, almost broke one of my fingers, had to go to the doctor and everything. That was documented back then. There's a video of it and everything.
You just hit me several times.
It's like it's like eating. It's nothing special, which is why, as I said, if you would play tennis with a girl who's under the age of consent, not that there is such a thing in nature, but in some countries it's 17 and some it's 13, whatever people make up. If you play tennis with her, it's okay, or with him also if you're a woman, but if you have sex, then it's wrong. If you have sex with your children, or your brother has sex with your sister, then it's wrong. And that's because sex is wrong. Yes, sex is wrong in our minds. It's not that doing something else, such as playing tennis or whatever, with a girl who's under this man-made age of consent is wrong. No, because doing something with them is not wrong. Playing football with your children or your brothers and sisters is not wrong, or your cousins, whatever, anybody who's related to you. It's that sex is wrong. You see, if This isn't actually the problem. Having sex with somebody who's under the age of consent isn't the problem. It's that sex is the problem.
In the so-called ancient times, in some places, it was normal for the mother to show the son how to have sex. This is why the sons quite often choose a girlfriend like the mother, and the daughters choose a boyfriend like the father.
But we get programmed that these kind of bikes are dangerous to ride in Europe and in America. And it's funny because it's actually not dangerous at all. It's actually a lot of fun. But it's actually very good for you, or you know, my new bike, like a 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean. Like a 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean. A 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean. If you understand what I mean.
That's what the enlightened ones do because it's natural, and they worship nature. That's the only way to be happy. They have built a perfect system for themselves, where they can have human hunting parties, rape and torture dungeons, babies for breakfast. The Illuminati are happy people raping and eating children and babies.
An apartment right next to Ian Watkins' prison cell in it would be lovely. Could maybe maybe you could hear his new music.
Meanwhile, Diane, still traumatized by Goatis' previous actions, confronted him through text messages and emails, asking why he had shown up uninvited at her home. Goatis responded with a chilling message.
Yeah, you don't understand what we were planning. Catherine in general saved your life, just so you understand. Like, you wouldn't even be alive if Catherine didn't come along.
If it weren't for Catherine, we would have gone Norway. A term which he used is a coded reference to describe eliminating her and her son, and one that she was fully aware of.
Give me one example of when I lied.
But she did say, talk to them about your, I can't mention this word on YouTube, SUI thoughts, my SUI thoughts, which she had. I never had them.
That I was brought to the psychiatry by police because they believed that I was gonna kill myself or something like that. I'm not even sure. I didn't understand it back then because I was tied down to a kind of a rolling bed.
Goatis tricked Diane, claiming he would end his life if she didn't return. Despite this, they reconciled and went back to the Netherlands, where Goatis punished Diane by cutting her hair short. Finally, Diane gathered the courage to leave Goatis for good.
My SUI thoughts, which she had. I never had them.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Richard Ramirez, you cannot see his father really here, but again, he grew up on raw meat, actually catching his own animals, and the results are obvious, they speak for themselves.
The boxer who has created a sensation last week at the Albert Hall by defeating Jack Stanley in 1 minute and 48 seconds. Primo Carnera is prepared now to box any man in the world, but the great difficulty is to find an opponent for him. You will easily understand that when you consider that Primo Carnera is 6'9" and weighs 20 stone strips. To give you an idea of his strength, I will compare his hand with mine. This is an average hand compared with his. This is an average fist compared with his. This is an average 7 boot compared with his 16 shoe. Now, if there is any gentleman or even lady in the audience who would like to have a few rounds.
Another Italian out to regain glory, Primo Carnera, the ambling Alp. Da Prime was training hard and doing great with his sparring partners, but the comeback trail was to prove a hard and painful one.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Ilyas, the husband of Mary Marina, has been in prison since January 2023. His trial commenced on August 28, 2024. Ilyas's defense states that he was threatened to commit this crime by a YouTuber from Latvia who is in a relationship with his wife. However, this doesn't explain why he would be smiling and laughing during his acid attack. And according to prosecutors, there was no hard evidence that he was forced to do this job. After months of recovery and returning to her home from a women's shelter, Diane remained fearful. At the time, no one had been apprehended for the acid attack, and she knew her life was still in danger. Her worst fears were confirmed in January 2023, nearly 2 years after her formal breakup with Goatis, when a Molotov cocktail was thrown into her infant son's bedroom. Fortunately, it didn't ignite, but the message was clear. She was still being targeted. Despite this, Diane struggled to obtain adequate protection or help from the police. Just a week later, at around 1 a.m., another Molotov cocktail was hurled at her house, this time setting it on fire. Thankfully, neither Diane nor her son were home at the time, avoiding what could have been a fatal outcome. The two individuals responsible were apprehended almost immediately, a 33-year-old German national named Ilyas Abdullah and his teenage daughter, Angelina Abdullah. If the last name sounds familiar, it's because Ilyas is the ex-husband of Mary Abdullah and Angelina is their daughter. These were the same two individuals who had attempted to end Diane's life with a brutal beating and acid attack just months earlier. And now they had escalated their efforts, trying to burn her and her infant son alive. It was a sickening act of violence. Fortunately, Diane and her son were staying in a women's shelter. The attack left her house completely destroyed, leaving Diane and her child with nothing. By late 2023, both the prosecution and defense agreed that the younger attacker, Angelina, a legal minor, was completely insane. As stated in court documents, reports from attending psychologists and psychiatrists pointed to her troubled family upbringing, particularly the neglect from her mother, Mary Marina, also known as Primal Bella.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Number 1, the best way by far to create deep and lasting wrinkles is to exercise. do weightlifting, the wrinkles will come in as quickly as never before in your life. Exercise is by definition chronic stress. The stress will trigger the release of a lot of cortisol. This will break down the collagen in your body and make you look very old. If you want to look like you're in your 50s, when you're in your 30s, then this is for you.
Three laps. I was born in September 28, 1920. Never thought I would bypass my grandfather. 96, I said, that's a long time. And here I am, 99.
He's dedicated to here when it's cold, when it's hot, when it's raining, when most of us don't want to get up and come work out.
I asked them one time if could they open up at 7, but they said no, the government won't let them do it.
And every now and then we'll have somebody that's new that has met him and they'll come up, did you know that man's 99 and he's killing it in the fitness room.
I got rid of arthritis in my back like this. About 3 months of exercise. It went away and I didn't even know it. Go to the big machine over here. Try to do 10 of these. It's about 5 minutes to do one lap. They got to get started. They got to move, get off of that seat.
I misrepresent studies trying to prove exercise is bad, only to accidentally end up proving exercise to be healthy. When people in my comments point this out, I block them because I can't handle the truth.
God damn it!
I don't like working out because it hurts.
You don't like working out
Because it hurts. You know?
Oh, little boo boo. Oh, you need somebody to help you with working out because it hurts. Oh.
Give me one example of when I lied.
I've never used any in my life.
I tried to touch a girl's genitals, her breasts, her face, and her whole body when she was asleep, and she was drunk, I was drunk.
I've never used any in my life.
I started fermenting more and more juices. I'm gonna experiment with more juices and see what tastes the best, what feels the best. I need to test how long you need to keep them outside or in the fridge. I open them now and then and see how they taste. I also did this with grapes back in Romania. These wild natural grapes, they were amazing on their own, but when I fermented them, oh my god, the taste was so amazing. It was one of the best things I've ever had. Medications. She knows that I'm against medications, I'm against modern medicine. I've talked about this on the video. She knows completely my stance. She knows that I would never do that. So she's basically saying, you will never see your son again, because she knows that I would never do that. She knows that I'm against medications, I'm against modern medicine. She knows that I would never do that.
Give me one example of when I lied.
Yeah, and you can get these symptoms, but you can never link them to vitamin A, seeing as, again, just to be clear, I need to repeat it, vitamin A has never been proven in the first place. So there's no plant out there that has vitamin A. Where's your empathy for the UK women who can't convert beta-carotene to vitamin A? Like you don't give a shit about humans, man. You hate humans. You know that you're sadistic. What? And the funniest thing is that polar bear liver, officially, if you listen to the numbers, actually has less vitamin A than beef liver. You understand how dumb it is? Because people always say, oh, what about polar bear liver? Hey, if you're eating beef liver, you're eating more vitamin A than you would be getting from polar bear liver. That's really funny. That actually debunks the whole thing.
The main reason people believe this lie about vitamin A is because eating polar bear liver has caused deaths. It was clearly reported
that the livers were overloaded with cadmium, which is a toxic metal. The people who died only showed symptoms of, can you guess it? Cadmium poisoning.
There's no such thing, hypervitaminosis. 0 cases, 0 evidence. Yeah, that's it. It's an irrelevant topic, seeing as it has never been reported. There's no cases of it. How can it be a thing?
Give me one example of when I lied.
Wait. Where's your empathy for the UK women who can't convert beta-carotene to vitamin A?
Or, you know, my new bike, like a 1 or 2 year old bike, which is very new, if you understand what I mean.
You've probably been told all of your life that childbirth is very painful, right? It actually isn't, but it is for most women in the West, and that's because they give birth almost 15 years too late. You have to understand that from nature's perspective, you are seen as a loser, and that's why you will be punished with pain.
On account of his obviously disgusting take on the age of consent. In the comments, he engaged in many arguments with people objecting to his stance. In one exchange, a woman who gave birth at 18 said that it was very painful for her despite her young age, to which Sverres replied saying 18 was not only late, but very late. To top it off, he says that the age of consent is unnaturally high, and then argues it could hypothetically be as low as 7.
Give me one example of when I lied.
No, you cannot overdose on something that's not toxic in the first place. There's no reported cases of this whatsoever. There's never been any experiments done, no studies, nothing that show that something that is not toxic can become toxic. It's impossible. That's why no organs or anything that's good for you has an LD50 value. Only something that's toxic in the first place can have it. And that can be lethal. The dose can never make the poison. The poison makes the poison.
Give me one example of when I lied.
I'm pro-nature.
Give me one example of when I lied.
There was an incredibly beautiful girl, and she chose to be together with the ugliest guy in the village. She did this because she believed that he will not leave her and that he will always appreciate her.
I have never won a fight in my entire life, and I have a tiny p***, so I kicked Diane in her face while she wasn't looking to try to feel like a man, and hire hitmen to attack my ex-girlfriend with acid, and I also paid them to throw a Molotov at our baby son's bedroom window, trying to have him burned alive.
me one example of when I lied. Give me one example of when I lied.
So you're stupid and ugly.
You'll be the inmate's in prison, wig boy, and Prussian will watch the inmates make you their just like with Ian Watkins.
Damn it! God damn it!